Hello, everyone.
Hey.
Good to see you. Paul Chaney here with the one and only Peter Deltondo. Good to have you here, buddy.
Thank you.
Yes. He tried to escape a second ago, but we were able to track him down, and it's good to have you back.
Yep. Glad
This
to be
is
back.
day 3. You feeling good?
I'm feeling good. Yeah.
Good times. So welcome, everyone. Leo and Tim and Claudia and Felicia, Matthias. What's shaking? I don't know how to say that name. Shores? Yes, Peter's the man, buddy. I've appreciated hanging out with you.
Yeah, it's been a really good time.
And yeah, it has been good. Learning a lot from you, and just like talking about all sorts of technologies in general and tools. So this is good. Has it been fun working in XD the past couple of days?
Yeah, it's been really fun. It's super reliable, it's super fast, and I think I'm most excited about the prototyping, like linking everything up and how that's gonna work.
This is good. So yeah, you can go to peterdeltondo.com, by the way, to see his website, which he recently updated.
Just for this.
Because I got a full-time job. There's no reason to update your website. If your boss goes to your website and sees
it updated, it's time to worry.
It's a little sketchy.
Yeah,
you're like, what are you doing?
Yep, someone's ready to go.
Yeah, so in general, yeah, Kevin, welcome. You can go there to see your work, and we can actually take a look at what you have done the past couple days. You have some screens.
We do. So I've been working on updating this a little bit. So to catch everybody up, let me kind of zoom back to where we started here. So what we've been building is a Disneyland app specific for parents. So like a parent's guide to Disneyland. Want to get into a little bit more of the nitty-gritty stuff, things like what are the ride experiences like? Is it inside, outside? Is there air conditioning? How long's the ride? How to make your life easier as a parent at Disneyland.
Oh, and by the way, can I just point out, I could be wrong, I think this might be the first time anyone's used Comic Sans.
Yes.
For us. Did you guys probably already talk that to death?
Yeah. We talked about the first day, so it's the only time I will ever use it, but I like to use Comic Sans when I wireframe because it's so ugly that my brain can't process it as real design.
Yeah.
Whereas if I use like something Open Sans or something off Adobe Typekit, I immediately start really worrying about like what are my font sizes, what are the lines, and I start to make it like a black and white color comp, and it's kind of dangerous. So I like using Comic Sans. I don't worry about it. I know it looks horrible, and that's exactly what I wanted to do. Yeah,
that's perfect, and you're right, because I'm like, there's no way we've designed that screen yet. Yeah. That's immediately what I think, so that's perfect.
Yeah.
That's good. A little bit of like, I don't know, wireframing essentially is what kind of happened the first day.
Yeah. Oh, that's and my team's here from GoFundMe, so hey guys.
What's up, team? Don't worry, he's been working. He's been working. You've been busy. Except we did lose him just before he came on the stream. I think he was like combing his glorious beard, which I'm so jealous of. That's what I would be doing. That's why I can't have a beard. I would just be like too busy admiring it most of the time. Anyway, Leo, welcome. Good to have you here. We're going to dive into this. So we've done these first couple screens, which still need to be designed.
Yeah. So we've talked about that. So we're jumping in. We're asking things like how many kids are you bringing to Disneyland? Maybe creating some child or parent-child profiles. So like upload a photo. What is their name? What are some of their favorite things? And then we come down.
And if you do show up in Disneyland, you don't have a child, they give you a child. Typically, that's how that works.
There's like a little rental facility.
Here's a little
right
rental child. You just take them in, and so you don't feel like a weirdo.
That scenario.
Yeah, like it's not weird enough that you have somebody else's kid. No, this is weird.
And so then we want to go through like the Disneyland map experience and be able to see things like what are wait times and where are characters and things like that. Then to take you guys through some of the kind of archives of screens that we've worked on. So this was some initial concepts that we started working on, and then through process of elimination and testing things out, we started seeing flaws in each of these. And so this was just kind of a little evolution of how we went about the process. So like moving into iconography, found some holes in that. If we had multiple times or locations, it was really, really difficult. And so started moving into kind of a card system. And that's kind of where I wound up and started to like things.
Yeah. I mean, there's definitely some... I just looking at the imagery here is just gorgeous. And how you're using those gradients This is totally working.
And just to look, I mean, the design process isn't always pretty. Like you can already see, we've probably designed for maybe 2.5 hours over the last 2 days. And you can already see how many different iterations and artboards that we have here. And I think when you're designing products and apps and websites, most of it is building something out and then realizing it doesn't work. But you have to like kind of fail 10 times to find the solution that does work.
And it's tough, especially like if you are live streaming it. It's like
there's no added pressure there. So we'll jump in. So I've kind of gone through and updated a couple of these, so we've got a little bit more to look at.
And I really do. Sorry to interrupt you, but you also have a sort of a navigation view there, which of course will just kind of segue into essentially the challenge that we have, which is all about creating a navigation UI, and that's on the challenge tab. And if you just can go ahead and start with that template so we can get familiar with that. But that's challenge today. Navigation UI, if you are aware of it, or if you're not aware of it, even if you are, hopefully get inspired how you've executed navigation. And so thank you everybody who's entered. We'll do a giveaway in about an hour and 15 minutes for that. And some random giveaways just for fun.
Awesome.
So yeah, it's good stuff.
Cool.
Thanks, Jenny.
Nice job.
Is that, we didn't lock that door? Ah, she's getting away. We try to keep all of our guests here forever. But thank you. So, and that's perfect. Lindsay says her entire portfolio is these challenges.
That's really good.
Right? I mean, that's advisable. I mean, you know, even when you hire people, you're looking at their portfolio. I mean, do you care whether it's like a real project or not? I mean, what's your opinion there?
The answer to that's kind of yes and no, but a lot of times when you hire, I mean, at least for me, anytime I've hired designers, I'm initially looking to see what level of talent they have. After that, when we group up, it's making sure they know their stuff and making sure there's a culture fit. But it is really important to have projects. And I think, especially if you're trying to get into product and web design, it can be difficult when you don't have a portfolio to get hired for those kinds of projects.
Yeah.
So whenever I mentor designers, I always tell them, like, take 30 days or 60 days and just go knock out some things you're really passionate about, build those projects, and do enough that it shows that you know what you're doing and there's intentionality behind everything. But build that out, and it's okay to say it's not a real project.
Yeah.
Do something that's really cool.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it'll be just fun to do. And that's really what you have to do to get that job. Is like everybody, when they want to make a website, they start with their own. Yeah. And like everybody, you want to learn Illustrator, you make your own logo. So
yeah. If you guys check out the project we viewed on my site yesterday, FlixFeed, that's actually the only made-up case study that I have. But I've directly had probably 6 clients mention that one specifically as to why they wanted to, you know, talk to me and begin working together. And it's not real. So there's nothing wrong with doing stuff like that.
Yeah, and here it is, by the way. It is on Peter Deltondo, as you can see, .com. And again, that's really cool. So you had about 6 leads come out of this?
Yep.
That's awesome.
Or that is specifically stated this one.
Okay. Yeah, they liked this.
Yeah. Maybe even one of those people.
Oh, interesting. I think you just hinted at something. That's good. So, and by the way, I do like your website. Somebody did ask yesterday even how you did this, like, you have this little bit of a tilt shift, this bendy.
Yeah, I really have no idea. So, you know, it's kind of the cobbler's shoes. I don't have time to finish designing and coding, so I grabbed a template and threw my work in there, and that's how you get it done, and it's easy to be replicated going forward.
Yeah, some CSS transition or an animation. Yeah, it's 3D. I would not work in older browsers, bet you anything. Yeah, but you don't really. I mean, you lose the tilt, but you know, for those older browsers.
Yeah.
All right. Cool.
Awesome. All right, so let's dive in here. So we've got a little bit more of this flow created. So I'm not going to worry too much about designing the login. We'll keep that a little bit Comic Sans-y for the moment. But we've got a couple screens here, such as selecting the amount of guests that you want to bring with you. We want to then take them into a flow of setting up a guest profile. So we've got upload photo, enter their name. You can see once you upload that photo in there, you put the user's name. And then here I want to come and select some of their favorites. And so we'll touch this up because some stuff has changed since. But that would kind of create essentially some of our favorites profile, which we'll dive into.
Yeah, I like that because you obviously have a search field there, but then I take it you're serving up the most popular, the favorite rides, etc. at the top there.
And there's things in this, like this is just kind of some stuff I've brought over, but we need to start thinking through what are like the micro interactions, what does it look like when it is selected, and things like that. So we'll touch up some of that today, but just to go through.
I love this map.
And this is straight from the Disney app. This is not something I've done, but it's really, really awesome. And it's just nice to be able to pan through the app, see the wait times, click into that, and that'll take you into the characters and stuff. And so made some minor updates to this from yesterday, swapped out like the bookmarks for the heart, and that was a design decision I made because I wanted to use that as the icon for your favorites down here. I just thought that was more applicable for like the Disney experience than a bookmark tab or a star. You kind of love the things at Disney, and so I wanted to incorporate that kind of
right.
messaging.
Is that what that is?
Yep.
Sweet.
So yeah, let's talk through a couple other things that changed from yesterday. If you joined in, I want to have some stuff which, if we could load up the GoPro, let's maybe show why some of this was done. And so we're going to comp out a couple of rides. We've got our characters. We'll get that on in a second. And then over here, like when I come into my favorites, what does this look like? How do I swap between rides, character shows, and I want to see who in my party likes these different rides. So I can see my two daughters are really big into the Monsters, Inc. ride. And my wife and I really like the Toy Story ride, so we get into some cool stuff like that.
Just cranking up the brightness.
Oh,
you want me to switch it over?
Crank it up here, yeah.
Let's do that too.
Awesome. Okay, cool.
Oh yeah, we could do that.
Yeah.
You want to do the inset? There we go.
I can hold that for you.
I think I'm just going to set it here and we'll be okay.
Awesome. Maybe tilt it a little with the light. We might be better off just a little bit. Okay, so one of the things that I've done in here is like as we scroll, and I can see all of this in real time from my app, I've added in some little features here. So like the back to top button, so the user can tap on that and I'll snap them back up to the top of the screen. If we jump over here to, I think this first screen, let's read more. Which one did I do it on? Let's see, we did it on a screen like this here. So we've got our Radiator Springs racers, and so a little bit of an update from yesterday, but we come down here and I'm gonna eventually link up this prototype to where when I click on read more, that it will take us to this screen here and it'll give us an expanded view of these parenting tips.
And that is new because you're actually able to link to a screen to the bottom of it. So that's like a new feature in XD.
Awesome. Yeah, and then we've got some videos down here like we talked about, maybe bringing social influencers into the mix and having videos or walkthroughs, or people could upload videos and show that. And so maybe we could have some kind of like side swipe interaction here to showcase some cool videos. So.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah.
And it's cool how you just kind of keep this running. Typically, it's just sitting here.
I do.
And it's fun to watch it change, and you can always kind of glance at it while you're working in XD there.
Yeah, I like to keep it right next to me, and we can switch back to the computer now. I really like to have that because a lot of times when you look at something on the screen, you'll notice that, it could be a color, it could be a size of text or an element, and it just doesn't look right on your computer screen, but then you look at it on the device that's actually being used it on, and it looks right. And I saw Leo notice something about the rounded corners. So it's kind of funny, I don't usually do rounded corners like this, but because I'm doing something here for the iPhone X, I just find that because of the natural curvature of the iPhone X's screen, it looks really, really good together. Otherwise, when you have a smaller radius, maybe like 2 or 4, it just doesn't feel like it fits in as well with the app, but that bigger corner radius feels really good.
Gotcha, I see what you're saying. So essentially like these, since you have the rounded corners here, that's where that radius comes from.
Yeah.
Since I do like doing the camera, can you switch to GoPro? I'm just showing how that fits in there real nice and neat.
Yeah.
If we could show the GoPro, that'd be fantastic. Anyways, so that's why you did it. Because I was wondering the same thing. I'm like, yeah, you're really into rounded corners, so thank you for...
Right. I'm not so much into rounded corners, but it works for this.
Okay, gotcha. Yeah, it does. What is that radius? Let me guess. Like 8.
It
5,
is
6.
16.
Oh, I'm way off. That's why you're the designer and I just sit here and talk about things.
All right, so let's walk through some of the UX of this stuff first, and then we'll get into some more kind of exciting design changes. One thing that I noticed here is that we're kind of like locking the user into this process, and adding these guests isn't necessarily a requirement to use this app. So we'll definitely want to have some things here like an option to skip, and then just stating that this kind of stuff is optional.
I really like the look of these screens, by the way. I like that soft gradient and that white on the blue. It looks just really appealing. And
this is kind of a good example of also on the phone. Like, I'm not super crazy about this on the computer, but then I see it here and I really like the way that it looks and feels. And so that's why it's really important to have that companion app.
It's just honestly fun to just see it on an actual device instead of staring everything at it on your screen. You actually can take this. You could actually unplug this and take this with you, and it'll still work. By the way,
yeah.
So that's kind of cool.
So down here, I want to have a skip functionality, and it's always a good time saver to kind of reuse things that you've maybe already done. So I know that I had already created something that had this little divider and 2 lines of text, and so I'm going to grab this and bring this down here with me now.
Kevin Worth, I hear you. He's just talking about how he wants characters asking the questions and stuff.
Which again, it
goes, huh?
What do you mean by that?
Like he's said, I think for these questions, like, how many guests are you bringing to visit? Is Baymax saying that? Which, again, this goes back to, like, the goals. Like, if this is for the kid, you want to make it playful, but this is still for the parents.
But even as parents, you love that experience. So that's a really, really good idea.
Maria Black says it's looking great.
Thank you.
Are you talking about his beard or the... Cause that's what I've been talking about this whole time.
All right, so we might do something like this down here, and I want to have more attention on continue. So I'll come down here and maybe use that gray that I've been utilizing.
Oh, I like it.
So that feels like a secondary
By the way,
action.
it looks really small there. Here it looks really good.
Right?
Totally is working.
Yeah.
Totally works. Kevin Worth, good point. You become a child again at the parks.
You do.
Because... You're right. If you don't bring a kid, it's not that you're bringing a kid. It's like you are the only child going.
Yep.
If you select.
And I really like what Kevin said here, and I'm kind of thinking now, how do we incorporate stuff? And that's why I like working with teams, because you get pigeonholed into something, like we've got limited time, we're just kind of trying to execute stuff, but something like that's a great idea. So how do we now maybe incorporate that? So let's play.
I like the idea of scrolling up. Like, that's still there, but instead of saying 0, like it says, and maybe this is cheesy, but like I'm the only like child at heart or something like that. Just like replacing 0 with something else. I don't know, but quite frankly, you have the skips, you don't even need to select anything.
True. But let's try what this might look like. So I've got some characters here, and we've got some very typical Disney characters. Let me see if I've got a good... I don't like using the Mickey for this one just because I don't feel like I've got one in the style of kind of the others. But let's play with... I kind of like this. So I've got Buzz Lightyear here.
Yeah, Paul, this is just a prototype. Currently, we're just in the design phase. We're going to start linking these all together, and then it really starts to, and then we'll share it with everyone.
Yeah. So I'm going to bring over Buzz, and let's pull him in.
What's up, buddy?
And what I like about this, like just talking through the intention of why I would choose this image, is that there's a lot of energy and kind of excitement from it. So it feels really cool to kind of come in and maybe have something like this. So let's say, how many guests are in your visit? Maybe we do something like this. Bring Buzz up.
I think Voodoo Val essentially wants to be able to pick the theme and that theme be Star Wars for the entire app. She wants Kylo Ren to ask her every single question, including she'll try to book a table for one someplace. I'll be like, you mean Kylo Ren will show up? It's a table for two. It's like, I don't know. I'm trying to embellish her fantasy. So yeah, I like these. These are good ideas too, because Voodoo Val also mentioned, like, you know, it would be nice to know if this is again for the parents, but what would be just great is if, I mean, if your kids do have phones and that tracking ability with those phones. I know my sister uses that with her daughter. But anyway.
Whoops. Just want the text.
How's everyone doing? And by the way, so someone asked earlier in terms of UI kits and how you use them. Essentially, you can get some, you know, the iOS, Windows, and let's see, the Google, the Android one from the File menu, and then for the contest, go to the Challenge tab. And really, they're just XD files. You just open them up, you do copy and paste.
All right, so I'll do a little something like this. And this needs refinement, but I really like what I think it was Kevin said, that, you know, let's start to incorporate some more of the characters and the voice in there. And so maybe we do something like this, and
I do like that does have a lot of action to it.
It does.
It's fun.
And then maybe our numbers here run more through the bottom of the page. So we've got
Shauna Lynn, is that true? All right. So Shauna's talking about just some new technology. Essentially, you'd have a band, I don't know, some sort of band, I don't know, some sort of digital band. They would actually be able to tell your name based on that band.
Oh.
And the characters would say, "Hello, Peter, welcome."
That's
you know,
both
without
awesome
you even
and
saying
terrifying.
a word. Boy, wouldn't that be wild? Ooh, thank you. Looks like Anna asks on YouTube if it's faster to prototype in XD before you do it in code. I mean,
before you do it in code.
I mean,
100%. Yeah.
The answer is yes.
Yeah.
In fact, I think this is. It's fun watching you work, but I think it's fun having these immediate results from designing and prototyping.
Yeah.
So. All right, Dana Pride's back from lunch. We could begin now. We can
start.
Continue. We were actually waiting for you to come back, and it's welcome back. We'll continue with our work now. So thank you for that.
So again, this is just an idea. This totally needs more refinement, but maybe we start doing something like this to bring in more life and whatnot from the characters. So I think that's cool. But let's keep moving along here. So we've got Thea's favorites. So here we want to, let's see, probably doesn't make sense to show this information yet because we haven't selected anything, or we could just show like popular rides. And then we need to think about what are the interactions going to be. So we need like a select or a deselect, and how to, you know, show ones that have been added. You know, does it pin to the top? Does it add and go away? So we'll kind of think through some of those solutions here. So let's grab, I've got some different rides here. Let's grab this.
Is there like, is there a Toy Story ride?
There's 2 Toy Story rides.
Oh, man. I was there for one day. I think I went on like maybe 6 rides. I covered maybe 10% of the park.
You gotta go early and jam out in there.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I went with Lenny and my buddy Lenny Terenzi and the guys from Masters of One Design podcast, and we went back in October, and I think we did like 40,000 steps and covered the whole park. And by the next day, I don't think any of us could walk again.
That's dedication. I like it.
All right, so real quick, also you guys got to see we did repeat grid, and so I can then take these elements and I can just pull this down and have as many of them as I want, and then I can set the distance between these as well. So we're gonna come here, and I want this to be 16, so I will button that up, and then I don't need this many, I'll just do this. Maybe there, and I'll ungroup this, and then let's have this say, we've been doing Monsters Inc., so let's do that one.
Oh, hey, who's this, Rocky Rourke? Oh, well, thank you for joining us. Is this your first time? What's up? Rocky Rourke's joining us in chat.
Yeah, what's up, Rocky?
Shout out, right?
Yeah,
this is his artwork.
Well, some
Shout
of
out to
it
Rocky.
might be his, but he runs a sticker service.
Let's show it.
These are all from there.
I don't know if we can go full screen.
But lots of cool stickers.
Yeah. No. Not the GoPro. Just the regular us full screen. I was trying to get a better close up on that. Boom.
There we go.
Rocky Rourke in the house. You like that, huh, buddy? I know I do. It's very nice. Seriously, I've seen so many horribly designed laps. The whole bag's horrible.
This took me about 6 hours to do.
This is freaking gorgeous.
And there's actually a ton of intentionality. So if I come up here too, go this way.
Is there a storyline?
There is. So this side. The Harry Potter one, my wife loves Harry Potter, so that's for her. This one here, the wild thing, is my littlest daughter, Raina. And then we used to call our oldest daughter, Thea, our little bird, because she was a little singer and squawky when she was tiny. So those are all for them.
A little family.
Yeah.
A little family in the corner there. Very nice. All right, yeah, shout out. If it is your first time, Patrick, this is Patrick Gabriel. This is your first time here. Anyone else? Did somebody else say it? Because you're saying it's your first time, everyone. Yeah, anyways, so I was just joking about it being Rocky Works. We actually have had him on the stream.
Yes, he's coming back soon.
And he's yeah, is he?
I think he is.
Do a shout out. Rocky, if we have you coming back, let us know. If we have you penciled in. So, and in general, I want to answer some questions. Like, you can do websites. You can pretty much prototype anything. Today, we're just doing navigation UI. This navigation could be like on a watch. It could be a phone. Could be a website. Could be really anything. You could think outside the box. Maybe it's some futuristic type thing.
Yeah.
Whatever. That's the contest. Select the challenge tab, download the template, and just modify it.
Excuse me. So let's see here too.
So, Patrick, there's no planned automation to transfer Muse as a starting point. So Muse allows you to create websites without writing code. I'm going to tell you honestly, there are some plans to bring in files from other places.
Ooh.
Like other places.
Like other places. Well, now you all know exactly what it's going to do.
Really? Oh, you messing with me. I want to give it away, but I don't know if anybody's snuck anything yet, so... I don't know. Just a question we get a lot is like, hey, can I bring in like files from other places? Like if I'm a designer and I'm using Photoshop or Illustrator, can I bring in those files? How will those look?
All right.
Mike Wazowski. Oh yeah, so Leo, that's a good point. Like in terms of sort of extensions, And there are, by the way, in terms of a couple extensions, we have Avocode is one. So you can see right over here, if you're using Avocode, you can actually export for it. And there is a second one, which I'm trying to think of right now, Avocode and, help me out here, Avocode, what's the other one? But basically, we're already working with others to give you that capability. You know, we don't plan on building everything. If we could extend XD to meet your needs, we'll do that. So yeah, thank you.
All right, so let's add our characters.
I gotta find this. That's just last month. By the way, have you noticed, has everyone noticed we have some new music today? I don't know if you've talked about that at all. Has anybody picked up on it in the chat? Because this is, we've loaded up, what, like a good 400 new songs for you, which is awesome. Because usually, for a while there, we just had Francisco was actually mixing for a bit on his own, just custom tracks the whole time, but we finally got a good 400 tracks. So if you like the music, let us know. You like the chill? Ember likes the chill. It's something that you would listen to while you're designing, because that's kind of what we're going for. But the cat song, there's something called this. There's this cat song by Andrew Apple Pie.
I like Andrew Apple Pie
named,
stuff. Yeah,
he's really good. But there's like one song where I think we hear some meows, and everybody calls it the cat song. People will definitely recognize it when it comes on. So
I really dig his stuff. I actually subscribe to him on Spotify just because it's like easy work listening tunes.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah, we can talk about that. You listen to some Andrew Apple Pie.
Yep.
Denise listens to Imagine Dragons. That's cool. Not that Francisco was, he wasn't a bad DJ at all. He was fantastic, but it was just too much for him to handle to do all the tech stuff and be mixing tracks. So he's just like, he finally gets a lunch.
Nice little subtle shadow on that guy.
Yusuf is back. Welcome back, Yusuf, so we can continue. Hopefully we have... If you could just rewind and talk about everything... No, I'm just joking. Since he's back. But in general, again, just to kind of recap, this is an app for Disneyland, specifically for the parents. All those things you need to know. Blaze likes the tracks. That's good. Karen likes the music as well. Very cool.
That's good.
All right. Rocky Rourke listens to Backstreet Boys. That's
Doesn't
cool.
surprise me.
Doesn't surprise me. You would. I'm just joking. So yeah, let me know. Let us know what you listen to. I'm always kind of curious. If you were Peter in this case, designing, what would be playing in the background? Or maybe you have Netflix running. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or a podcast. You know?
And you could go check out the Creative South podcast. Jason Frostholm, really good. All right, so we've got James Sullivan.
All right, here we go. Here's your... I want to just kind of follow up really fast on the third-party workflow integrations. So this is the list. I know I was thinking of Zeppelin, but I said Avocode, Simply, ProtoPie, and Kite Compositor. So you can start your designs in XD and bring them over into your other tool for if you're prototyping in that other tool. I think one of them has an extension for Photoshop too. They all do slightly different things, but that's the list, and that's not even a month old. Ooh, Kevin, you're right. How the characters, Kevin likes how the characters overlay the boxes. I'm not sure what he means by there, but I do see what you've done a couple times. Is I feel like they kind of break out of the. Anytime they break out of the border when you need them to.
Yeah.
Is just I love that. So.
And what's cool here, so I've got these as masks, and I can come in and like move this image around, and it'll stay constrained within that. All right, cool. So I've now kind of got the results for Monsters, Inc. So if I were to have searched this, it's going to show me a ride, the 2 characters that are associated with it, and now we've got to think through the solution in terms of what happens when we make a selection on one of these. So let's duplicate this over, and let's test a couple of things out. And I'm pretty sure some of these are not going to work, but let's just try it and see what happens. So we could try something using kind of like a green color, which looks horrible as I thought it would. So we know that's not the right solution. Maybe we could do like a little green check mark up here in the top right. So let's play with something like that. Like come over here and I'll search check. Like this guy.
Since you're working on art, shout out to Shauna Lynn. I just did a quick Google on your name, and you do some fantastic lettering.
She does really awesome stuff.
Yeah, and I'm sorry I've not been following her, but now she's like, now I'm totally gonna stop.
Shauna's done streaming on the Adobe Twitch channel.
Ooh,
yeah.
Okay, so it's been a while.
And I just hired her for a project. She did an awesome job. Super good to work with.
Nice. Shout out to Shauna Lynn. Thanks so much for joining us and hanging out. Yeah, what are we talking about? I'd like to think that just having, listening to Adobe Live, having that on in the background is the way to go.
Yeah.
Shameless self-promotion. Oh, she's one of Rocky Rourke's lettering heroes. You know, it's like the creative community just gets smaller and smaller,
yep.
Right? It just does.
We have a really great community. Like the design industry is very different than, we'll say, most other industries, because everybody hopefully likes your job. I mean, we get to do adult arts and crafts for a living. Like, I don't have a lot to complain about. It's kind of like, this is a digital macaroni, art plate that you got to do as a kid.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm kind of liking that.
That's true.
But, let's stay with the theme of this. So let's stay blue. And let's stay with our colors. Okay. So let's go with that.
Oh, nice. Oh, how did she do this?
It's like MySpace hacks.
I want this hack. You guys are killing me.
Shauna, we're talking about how you changed the font for your Twitter profile.
Yeah, another Shauna shout out. We could switch to my screen real fast. Again, get to know her. We're stalking her now, but how she did this. I love the hacks. I know a guy who did upside down letters. That's really cool.
I've seen that. That always drives me bonkers.
Right. And she's a Twitch affiliate, so very cool. I take it's the woman that's Shauna and not the
Teddy.
How's that, Teddy?
All right. So I didn't like how that circle looked, and part of the reason I didn't like it was that if we had a really long name or something, it just kind of butts up a little bit close to it. But maybe we could do like a nice little tag system here. So if we select it, maybe we do something like this.
What if, I was thinking like, what if, because you're saying these are the selected.
Yeah.
I feel like what if the box is the white box is semi-transparent, and then when you select it, it's fully white. And
let's try it out.
Yeah, Yusuf, if somebody has different skill sets in different design areas, is that good or bad? Yeah, I'm not sure what you mean. We were talking about portfolios earlier. Actually, it's kind of more. I have a question for you. Yeah, and that was my question. whether you specialize or are you a generalist, and that's what you have in your portfolio?
Yeah, I prefer to be a specialist. There's a lot of things that, can I theoretically do them as a designer? And do I know how to? Yes, like I could do illustration or branding or lettering. That's not my forte. And so when I have projects that come in like that, I will hire specialists. That's why I brought in Shauna. I've hired Rocky for projects, or Mike Jones. Like, I'll bring in somebody who I know is perfect for that thing, and then I'll focus on the thing that I can do well.
Yeah.
And when I want to hire people, I would rather hire somebody that is going to excel at that particular thing than have them be moderately good at several things.
Yeah. And just talking to you, I think it's really cool how you I think a lot needs to be said for just knowing your limits. Having it's a lot of confidence saying, I don't know how to do this as well as other people do.
Yeah.
That's a lot of, that clearly says a lot about you as a person. So I think it's really cool. Time for the contest. Essentially, you have about 50 minutes, 50. So at 2:30, you probably saw that little pop-up, but essentially the challenge tab, we are creating navigation, which is essentially what you're doing, is navigating around a park as well. I think another thing, see, once you're an expert, it's good that if you become an expert in one thing, it shows that you know how to go deep into one subject matter.
Yes.
Right? And you've gotten to know those experts, and you're maybe an authority in this little area. And then you could easily do the same in another area if you wanted to. So, Kevin, I'll see what we can do in terms of getting a CC subscription for your birthday next week. Yes, we'd love to give you one, assuming you win the challenge. And that's the only... I have faith in you, my friend.
All right, so going off of your idea here of maybe bringing in the opacity, I felt like it really muted out the cards to where they felt more disabled than the other, but then it spurred the idea of well, what if we do an overlay on top of this, and then maybe in here we pull in, maybe it's a green color for this. Let's go maybe a little bit more muted. Maybe we do something more.
We need help here. Is this working, everyone?
Yeah.
You want to go to the monsters, Mike and Sully to the rescue ride, and that's something you've selected. So that's what we're working on. Let's see. Yeah. Rocky work he's like an okay illustrator. He's all right. I mean, we've seen better. No, I'm just kidding. It makes me sick. But again, Rocky, I thank you for being modest as well. Because if you're yeah, I'm pretty awesome, I'd be no, you're not. Even though he is. That looks really good. I like that. I like the black.
Yeah.
I think the black's working.
Well, and so that's one thing too. I mean, I should be updating these as well. So I never use black in UI design. It's just really a stark contrast. So I'll stay away from that. And in this case, I had a lot of this type at, I use 333 as kind of a default, just so it's a little bit softer on the eyes. It doesn't, kind of strain the eye as much. And then, ideally I would update this all to this color here that I've got, which is a very dark blue. And I like how that looks now, because now that's in the same tonality as this blue theme that we have. So it looks like it works well.
You don't have any pointed corners there, do you?
I don't think so.
I think you're good.
All right, awesome.
Leo would actually like you to have 1 2 1 2 1 2.
What color is that? I just want to see.
That's okay. I go with 1 2 1 2 1 2.
Yeah, just a little off.
I used to know those color values, because there's a pattern that it follows when it comes to hex colors. But
and I'll show one more of these here. So let's show a screen that doesn't have anything. Sprites, characters.
Oh, thank you, Shauna. She says it looks loads better than the current Disney app.
Actually, I don't mind the Disney app. There's some stuff with like how they do popovers and whatnot that feels a little funny to me. The one thing that originally I was going to try to tackle about maybe doing the official Disney app, I went with this instead, was how you book fast passes is the weirdest thing because it shows you a time, but it just shows it as like standard data information. But you don't realize that that's actually the CTA that you have to click on in order to book your fast pass. There's not like a book button. So it's a really, really weird experience. And we had a whole group of designers that couldn't figure out. We just had to like button smash until we tapped on something that worked.
Oh, really?
All right. So, okay, now we've got this dialed in. As we come here, it asks our favorites. I'm going to want this continue to be gray as well because they haven't entered any information, so there's nothing to continue. And then same thing here. But now that they've made some selections, now we can continue, and that would then add things into the favorites list. So I think that works.
I like it.
And there's definitely more stuff I would explore on this, but we'll keep moving along.
Do you have you ever used feather icons?
I've seen feather icons, and they're really pretty, but it's very limiting. And I try to go with larger icon suites. Like my go-tos are Orion, Nucleo, Streamline, and Smashicons, because most of those are like 2,000, 5,000. I think Smashicons is like 50,000. And so it's really easier when you want to come in and find an icon for a specific thing that it's already got it, and you can still make those modifications to make it like perfect how you want it. But from a speed standpoint, I don't like working with icon suites that are like 40 to 100 icons large, which is I think about what feather icons is. And so it's probably going to require me to have to create too many icons.
I do like how quick it is though. I mean, I get there's no customization essentially is what you're saying with something like feather icons.
No, it's not that. It's just like if I wanted an icon for like a wand, does it have that in the system? That's kind of the.
We have wind.
Let's see. But that's the thing is like if I want to jump into like I use Icon Jar to sort my icons. This was one that I was looking for. But I can search that, and I've got a couple different options here that at least is a launching point for me to go modify how I would want it.
Yeah.
So I really like that capability, and that's why I like using Nucleo and stuff like that as well.
Rocky Rourke, are you before you leave? Are you going to come out and join us sometime, or are you just saying in March in general? What's happening? Just let us know if we have you slated for a time. Leo is wondering if most of those are paid icons, or what free ones can you recommend?
Free one, Font Awesome is really good, which I'm pretty sure is free. I just think they look a little dated. I'm not a huge fan of it, but Font Awesome 5 is out, and that's a little bit better. But keep an eye out on icon suites, especially around the holidays. Like I think Nucleo is $100, but it always goes down to 40 or 50, like 3 or 4 times a year.
Got it.
So just scoop it up during those times.
Very cool.
All right, and let's see here. All right, so let's play with this. There was something here that I didn't like the other day. So we had this interaction here of we wanted to use a swipe in order to remove an item. And I just feel like this doesn't totally work, so I want to make a little subtle change to it. So I'm going to grab a couple of the elements here that I do like, and we'll see what this would look like. So if I were to remove this, because like most parents, if anybody has kids and your kids are into Frozen, as we talked about maybe the first day, Frozen doesn't work at home anymore on our Apple TV. It won't load magically, so we don't have to listen to it.
Parents. I don't know what I am not allowed to comment. I'm not a parent. So I'm going to just grab. Is this yours?
Nope, that's all you.
It doesn't work. It doesn't load.
My daughter's young enough I can get away with it.
Oh man. And did we decide what Disney princess you were?
Oh yeah, my daughter and I have to sing
Yeah.
Do you want to build a snowman often? So I'm usually Elsa.
Elsa. We have an Elsa here.
Yeah.
I would like to be Ariel is my Disney princess.
Why is that?
Why I don't know, just because she's a hottie. Is that wrong? I don't know. Sorry, I'm just making it weird. It won't work. I love these, like, that's like a parenting hack or something. Like, I love hearing about these things. Fascinating. The inside scoop. But no, let's not get on this conversation of how you deceive your kids. I don't know if we want to go there. This is like, keep it focused.
All right, so let's see here. Trash cans. Let's grab this guy.
Mostly, oh yeah, Ariel does have great hair, and it's mainly like when she's underwater. Oh, I'm just like Ariel right here. I like all the princesses. All right, enough about that. That's what I would want to go around the park and take pictures with all the princesses.
All the princesses.
Can I do that?
And so one thing, just to talk about like how I do some of these icon selections and stuff. So obviously we've got a lot of curved shapes in this app. I think also because it's a family-oriented kind of Disney magical kids more themed, I'm going with things that are a little bit softer, have rounded corners. And that's one of the reasons I like Orion and Nucleo is I can automatically modify those settings beforehand. So let me pull this guy in now.
All right, Shauna, thank you for joining us. She has to go load some boxes in the house.
Oh yeah, good luck on the move. Tell your family.
Good luck on the move.
All right.
Yeah, we can take a look. Let me just take a peek at the, don't switch to my screen yet, but I'll just take a quick peek at the entries and see where we're at now. And, yes. And it's peterdeltondo.com is where, in case you just like, isn't there an email on your site? Is it design
at Peter Deltondo, and
that's where all your bribes should have gone, but it's getting a little too late right now. It's like, I don't know, we're kind of getting beyond that point. Please send bribes to design@peterdeltondo.com. Like, totally increase your chances. No, I'm just kidding. But special thanks to Chris Brown, Denise Garay. Oh, it looks like Denise, with 2 S's, is a previous winner. And Hafid, have you won pretty much everything? That's awesome. And Martin, awesome.
Cool. So I like how this looks, and I mean, as we see this on the phone, not eating lunch is totally catching up to me.
Oh man, I'm sorry.
And but we see here, like, I really like how this feels. Like, it feels a little almost too airy here on the desktop, but then we see this over here, and it just feels like super clean, super concise. There's no confusion about it, and it feels like a pretty good touch point to quickly tap on. Do it quick.
And I love seeing the view of both, by the way, but yeah, here we are.
Yeah, so this would just be if I swiped over, that this would come in, and there's lots of cool things that we could do, and like your front-end developers will love you if you start to incorporate like, hey, could we like morph this shape in there? Could we do something really cool? People don't want to just like design a static website anymore. They really want to come in and develop and do some really cool things. So how we could do that, what interactions could we include? Those are things you want to be thinking of as you're designing here.
Very cool. No, we do have snacks for the guests, by the way, in case you're wondering. Yes, it is actually just some Valentine's candy from yesterday. We've basically been like hopped up on sugar for, I don't know.
They do feed us. I just was nervous and didn't want to eat, so.
But it's day 3, man. I'm gonna get all choked up here in a sec. Let's calm down. I do want to, whenever you do what you need to do, I could show off a couple
Yeah,
pieces.
let's pull up some. I'll do some more stuff maybe with our recommended tips after this.
All right, so we will check out Rift. So welcome to Rift, as you can see right here. Let's dive in, let's sign in. Looks like Rift will enable you to find gigs nearby. You can see at the shed, at the churchyard, let's dive into the shed.
Zombie babies.
Zombie babies. They're pretty good. They're so good in person. I'm gonna go ahead and heart that.
Yeah.
Great job there, actually.
So that's terrifying. Did you see that?
Dude, I missed it.
Oh my gosh, the winner might have just been declared.
I missed that.
How did that do it?
That's Francisco's.
Are you doing that? Oh.
He's like, I don't know what you're talking about.
That's really cool. I think we all just got trolled in the best way possible.
That was appropriate for the theme there, which is perfect. I don't know what that was. I'm trying to keep it lighthearted, and I just saw Scary Baby. Pointer App by Denise. I like how we did not, like, did that actually happen? This is the Pointer App, so we could dive in. Logged in, welcome. We can find some stores in 2 fantastic cities within a certain area. So store 30 right here. Okay, so it's all about sort of like having a map of the zone divisions and where their clients are located is what's happening here. So that's cool. And the comments as well. So nice colors, utilizing rounded corners. Yeah. And I'm just totally gonna appreciate this. Yeah, I'm gonna follow you. Stalking you now, Denise. Welcome to Colorful Navigation. Let's go full screen.
Best way
here
to navigate new places, okay. Oh, jeez.
We're just viewing colorful navigation. This is nice and pleasant. No big deal. I'm not scared at all. There's nothing weird about what's happening right now. I'm getting freaked out. I didn't know our place was haunted. What is going on? What is going on? That is the scariest thing.
That's cool.
So, here, it's okay. You can sit in my lap. You can sit in my lap. Here, we're looking at this one now. This is freaky, man. I don't even know where you got this. You're scaring me. I don't even know what to think. I can't concentrate for one. Oh,
people that are just tuning in are like, what the heck are they working on?
What do you think, buddy? What do you think there, buddy? What do you think of this design? Do you like colorful navigation? You agree it's pretty good? We'll dive into email, logging in. Oh, I really like the gradients. We can dive into restaurants.
And the shadows aren't coming in that well here on the, or at least on this monitor, but it looks really good.
Oh, that's a good point. Sorry, I don't want to drop you, but I'm trying to zoom in on those. Yeah. Dive into sushi place. Nice transition. Making use of those. Let's go there. I want to know if it's... Ooh, this is great.
Yeah.
Like, this switch to the sort of first-person view.
Having been up here and using Lift all the time, this feels very intuitive. I like that curvature up there with that radius. It carries through really well.
Super tight, super tight. I just want to know if it's kid-friendly. Maybe, maybe not. But this is really good. Yeah. Let's escape out of this. 8 screens, just kind of clicking through all of them. Yeah, perfect. Great job. So those are 3. We'll cover more later. All right, don't worry. We'll get you something to eat. You're looking a little... You look like you could use some nourishment.
All right. So, I'm trying to remember what the heck we said we were going to do next.
Let's turn him the other way. He's still sitting here just staring at us. I swear I saw his head move. It was not me.
Oh, man. All right. So, let's see next. Let's do some of the general tips. That was something that we haven't yet covered and gone into. And then after this, let's start maybe prototyping some of this up. I want to make sure we've got time for that, and then we can come back to new stuff. So we don't need this section at all, actually, for the tips page. So let's just delete these. And I'm going to switch back to my light status bar. Okay.
And that status bar, by the way, came from a UI kit. You get a file, UI kits, iOS.
Yes. Yeah, if we come in here and just open new right down here.
And you can get to it right here. Go to File.
Oh, that's right. Get UI kits. Really easy.
Ooh, that's brand new too. If you go to More UI kits, by the way, just can you mind just selecting that? This should, yes, take you to the 5 available. We're using, I don't know if the one we're using today is actually on this page. I want to say yes, but I'm not. I haven't.
Well, that's
the first time I've been to this page.
I'm actually, I think Microsoft is doing a really good job with their new stuff, which is what I think this is kind of in that ecosystem. Okay.
So for the challenge, you'll be using one of those.
And then I'm going to decide that we do need this still. So, because we might want to search for certain kind of tips. So I'll just leave a search up there. And then let's come in and
Thomas, good point. Thomas Gavars just mentions how familiar, say, parents are with gestures and things like that. So that's good to think about. It's like we were talking about Snapchat yesterday.
Yes.
And how like there's so many things that are hidden there. I think a lot, and that's why they wanted it.
As a product designer, I had to have my my wife's brother and sister, who were like in high school, teach me how to use it because I couldn't figure it out.
Mm. And that does that kind of make you feel?
It makes me feel really embarrassed. Like it should not be that difficult.
What? That's the universal
Make
sign
money.
for random giveaway. That's what that is. Because we got a heads up from the Adobe Live team. He's like, hey, you know what? I'm feeling generous today. Wants to do a giveaway. So yeah, I guess we can do that now if everybody's ready. Hello, Ray Rivera from Los Angeles. We will be down in LA, by the way. So AdobeCreativeJams.com. We're going to be in LA in 2 weeks. So you have to come out and join us, Ray. That'd be awesome. So it's a UX, UI, Adobe Creative Jam in your neck in the woods. Yeah. I mean, you're kind of outside.
Adobe Jam's super cool. We did that at a conference last year. It was a lot of fun.
Nice. So yeah. Go ahead. Just some hype. Thank you so much, Adobe Live, for pasting that in there. But we're going to do a giveaway of some socks, if that works for you.
Yeah, let's do socks.
Okay. Rachel Fowler, we will go everywhere. So yes, we just had a creative jam in Austin like last week, but this is what we're giving away today. Again, they didn't fit my baby's feet, so we're just like gonna give them away now. It's like they're not quite gonna fit.
This thing won't go away.
It's so freaky. Yeah, they won't fit the baby zombie. Just won't fit them. But these will go great on your feet. One size fits all, assuming you have normal size feet. And that's about it. Oh, and just when you got annoyed or thought the baby zombie was weird, it's also the deliverer of the prize. So thank you very much, baby zombie. We get scared by you just because you lack some skin pigment, but thank you for helping us out. And our winner for the prize today, which is currently some Adobe XD socks, is Karen Diaz. Karen Diaz. Congratulations, Karen. Baby Zombie says yay to you. And yes, Karen Diaz is our winner. Say thank you or something in the chat so we know that you heard us, and we will contact you. Don't worry, Baby Zombie did not wear the socks at all, because that's weird. Congrats, Karen Diaz.
All right. So what we're doing here is we want to give folks some tips that they might not know if they were to go to the park. So like we found out,
I love this.
If you stay at the hotel, you can get what they call Magic Hour, and that will allow you to hit the parks an hour early and you get to hit all the best rides that are usually really busy.
Wait, at what time? If you
An
get
hour before it opens to the public.
if you have a Magic Pass.
No. If you are staying at the hotel.
Oh, if you're staying at the hotel.
You get in early.
That's awesome.
So yeah, that's super cool. And then let's use like a cool icon.
You're pretty intense. Do you like actually, you haven't been there in ages, but when you go there, I picture you showing up super early and you have like maybe 2 fanny packs.
Like yes.
Like
double fanny, like the Rock fanny pack.
And I will like make fun of you, and then I'll be like, dude, please, you have to have. I'm like freaking sweating. Do you have a wet wipe or something? And you'd be like, yeah, you just have everything.
We're ready to go.
I love it. I want to hang out with you. Can I be like your third kid? Oh yeah, Voodoo Valdez says this does look great. Felicia, we have more giveaways and other things that we'll have to give away as time goes on. But socks for sure. This is good. This is key.
All right, and then we want to have some more tips, so we will, boom, drag these down. And then I'm just going to send this to the back. All right, cool. So that works. And just real quick, I'm going to change out a couple of these things. We'll go Disney.
Any other tips? Does anyone else have any tips for going to Disneyland?
Make sure to check out.
Where do you find your design inspiration, Kelsey? We'd like to know.
Yeah, so I run this Chrome extension called Panda, and what I really like about this is it will allow me to see a feed of designer news, which actually, hey, that's us. And I can open up feeds for sites like Dribbble and Behance and awards and things like that. So I just kind of get to see what is trending and out there, and I'm kind of always constantly being exposed to that. And that way when I start to think of projects, I can maybe say, hey, I remembered seeing something cool like this. Now, without having it in front of me, I can come up with my own twist of that thing and just kind of have that inspiration in mind.
And that is really cool. So that Panda extension is pretty neat. So does it come pre-populated, or do you just kind of like fill it in with?
Yeah, you pick what you want to have.
Okay.
And Muesli is another one that works really well. But yeah, you set it to whatever you would like, and it'll show you like the top Behance projects for the day, and what's popular, what's trending, or what's most recent.
Oh, very cool. Panda. It's called Panda. And I want to know, when you said Panda, who repeated it 3 times in their head? Panda.
All right.
Maybe it's just me.
And so let's build out one of these, just because I haven't done this.
You just have to read that. I'm sorry. My trip for going to Disneyland is going to Disney World. Hey,
East Coast,
Jeanette,
West Coast.
Like slow clap. Best comment of the day. Your tip for going to Disneyland is going to Disney World. That was a burn.
All right. So I want to create. Whoops. All right, and then after this screen, we'll start prototyping. Move this for a minute. All right, and I'm gonna drop in my photo.
Wow, that Panda extension's seems pretty robust.
It's really awesome. There is Raji's beautiful face.
And this is one of the artist gallery, right?
Yeah, so I want to do like a screen for, like an artist profile. Raji's done some really cool artwork for Disney. He told me I can use his work in this. So Disney, if you're watching, he should be a featured Disney artist because he's really, really awesome. And a super good Disney companion. We ran into him by chance when we were there in October, and it was totally fun. He got to tell us all kinds of cool stuff about the park because he's a total Disney nerd in the best way possible.
I don't think we've had Raji on our stream at all, but I would think he would be a great option if we do an illustration one. Get him and Rocky Rourke in. And
yeah.
By the way, I love this. I totally want to buy this pin. Just a quick shout out to him real fast. Do you mind? Just switching to my screen real fast. Font lover. That's like my humor. It just kills me. Papyrus, Comic Sans. Into it.
All right, and I want to get some locations in here. So where do I have that? Grab this. 32.
Hashtag dad jokes. You're doing quite well, man. I feel like I would I'm sold. Like I will hire you. Like you're on the team. I don't know what to tell you. Killing it. So yeah, I mean that's a good point. We've kind of been talking about portfolios today. Paul's looking at sort of tightening up his projects, like the presentation of his projects in Behance. So
take some time and do it.
Yeah. I think the big thing for looking at somebody's portfolio on Behance is like a consistent style.
Yeah.
You know, I think that matters a lot because you as an employer want to know what you're going to get.
Right.
And if you're all over the map, like I wouldn't necessarily know what to expect.
Yeah, I've had a lot of clients, it's happened especially at my last agency, we would have folks come in and say, hey, can you make us look like the kind of work that you do? It wasn't even so much of like, we want you to come up with something for us. It's like, we really like what you do and the style that you have. And so almost like an uncertainty of, can you make us look like that?
Excuse me, which is really good because like excuse me.
And a tip I want to show that you showed me this morning was if I want to copy a style that I have, I can hit copy or, use the shortcut. So I come here to copy and then I select the other item I want and I can use paste appearance and that will match the radius I have, the shadow effect and everything. So it's just really quick and easy and awesome. And then let's maybe bring over some artwork. So let's do maybe some mini galleries. So come here, let's bring that in, ignore, and then what is that, 164? All right. Oh wait, let's do this easier.
And in some cases, you could maybe turn that into a symbol, but like not in this case because you want the boxes to be different sizes.
Right.
So that is good. And yes, Peter is crushing it. Loves the gradients and color combinations are fire, as the kids say these days.
And that's cool. So it's updating all of these as I go.
Ooh, Kelsey Newhouse actually says if you do a Command-Alt-V or paste, that's the shortcut key for that.
Oh,
in
nice.
case you ever need to paste just the appearance. Yeah, Lindsay, it's just really a matter of copy and paste if you want to copy assets between projects is the short of it. One thing you can do, though, is you could start to build out a library if you want to. And, that might be what we need to do. Let me actually just give me 1 second. But there is not much in it right now, but basically just on my screen you do have access to Creative Cloud libraries. Just open up CC libraries. So this is where I tend to like keep lots of things. Essentially Peter and I have a library that I can sort of copy content into, and it will just appear on his desktop and really everywhere, which is nice. So if you are accessing things just like, I have in here, it's like a number of assets we can work with.
Yeah.
And vector assets are now in CC libraries as well as of Tuesday. Yeah, Disneyland has a downtown Disney, right?
They do.
The street.
All right, and now I want to drop in some images here. So
Thanks, Alwyn. That's what we're trying to do, is make this inspirational. And you've been solving problems. Like, you don't necessarily know the answer. As we're working on this, you're figuring it out. But you're like, hey, I am kind of awesome, so it's probably not going to be a problem, Paul. Not that you would say that, but that's why I'm your hype man. Thank you, Alwyn. So feel free, get your challenge entries in, and we will make sure we review those in about 15 minutes. You have 15 minutes. Make it happen.
All right, so we could do something like this here, and now we get to see some of the awesome artwork, Disney artwork that this artist has. And let's throw in a back to top that we've got somewhere else. And we'll call this good. And then let's prototype some stuff out, and if we can design more, we'll design more.
Nice. Thanks, Corbin. Corbin agrees. Inspirational.
All right. So there we go. And have that. All right, cool. So I think we are good. In a less timed world, I would name these artboards more accurately, so it would be easier for us to jump through. But for the moment, I think we're okay to start linking some of this up. So we are going to switch over here to prototype mode. And I'm going to swap this one out because the perfectionist in me wants to modify more of that, but I really like that idea. All right, so I'm going to come here from our login screen, and I'll add real quick some text over here that just says login, even though this is still wired. All right, and then we'll switch back to prototype, and I'm going to link this button over to this screen. And so it shows me the target screen that I'm going to, the transition of what I want that to be, and then we can set out like the easing, the duration that we want, and if we want it to preserve the scroll position. So we'll just link that up here, and then we'll have our continue, which does this create like a bounding box that's a little bit larger, or do I want to create a shape behind maybe?
Yeah, you probably want to create a shape behind it, my friend.
Then let's just do that. So I'll just create another white shape behind this, and I'm going to paste this onto my other screens that I know I'm going to need. Okay, perfect. So we'll switch back into prototype mode, and I'm going to come over here, and that's going to link me to this screen. And then let's do something cool from our UI kit, which should be in there. I'm going to open up my UI kit, Apple iOS, and oops, it's taking me to the link. So we've got our UI elements here from Apple, and so let's see, do they have a photo upload?
Upload,
They should, but they don't yet.
I mean, usually it's just text. Like, I don't know if there's an...
Well, but it'll open up a screen where you select it from your photo library, so...
So it's like, okay.
Yeah, but that's okay. We can jump back in here. If we wanted to be ultra realistic, we could do something like that. So we'll want to do like photo upload here or name, and we will link these up into this screen.
Ray Rivera, thanks for joining us, my friend. I have to go do some coding. God bless you, my friend. Thanks for joining us. Actually, just keep in mind next week, by the way, we're here every week. So if you do have to take off, join us next week. In fact, Perfect. If you select the schedule tab right in here, so we're in the now playing section, but schedule will actually list out, of course, the schedule. So we have Elena Miska, Chantel, Annie Hall, Ronnie Alley as well, Kathleen Martin, Terry White. Full week planned, so you can click into those and hit subscribe so you don't forget. And that's about it. This is in 2 weeks you're going, right?
Something around there, yeah. Oops. All right. Okay. All right, and so now we continue, and maybe in this one we want to have this maybe slide up. Let's do push up. We'll see what that looks like.
And how do you get back?
How do we get back if we need to go back through here? It's a great thing that we're missing.
Yep, which is why we prototype.
Yes.
And nobody caught this? Come on, team.
Amateur hour.
Amateur. Just joking. We're totally blaming everybody in chat. No, that's so mean. But I did want to point out, like, when we get to that, I'll show you a cool feature. Because you have a back button there, so you have it.
Totally.
You have it. But anyways, yeah. Cool.
All right, and so now let's link up a couple of these. So we want our hearts here to link up over to this screen. And we don't need to worry about that. And let's have this slide in from the side, maybe.
Yeah, Claudia Jost. Next UX Design Week is in March. So kind of how, and don't quote me on this because this isn't always going to be exactly the case, but typically kind of like around the second week in the month, we'll do UX and UI design is how it's kind of fleshing out to be. So yeah, Matthias, this brings up a good point. So they're just talking about like sort of text inputs and all these other inputs. We have plenty of those requests. You know, if you can send data from one screen to another. Again, that's kind of further down the line and not possible right now. We're just prototyping. Most of this should be fake data.
Right.
You know.
Yeah, we're just kind of like quickly getting ideas out here and making sure that this works well. And
yeah. Oh yeah, thank you, Tim. There will be a German UX stream next week, so that is happening on their YouTube channel. AdobeLive.com.
And so I've done a couple other screens here too that have like ride information. So we'll see what I think I'm doing. We'll do push left for a moment. We'll see how that looks. And then we've got our Radiator Springs Raceway is right here.
Can I show you something?
Yeah.
Maybe? So let's go to the Radiator Springs screen.
On design or prototype?
Prototype.
Okay.
And then the back arrow will at the very top, the upper left, right there. So just click on it, because here we can open up the choose an artboard. We can do previous artboard. So it doesn't matter how you got there. It'll go back to the previous one, and it reverses the transition.
Nice
too, which is kind of cool. So Armando says it's a great screen design, very clean and inspirational. It's gonna start going to his head. That with his glorious beard. I mean, I don't think he's gonna talk to us after this.
All right, so we've got that. We've linked this up. Let's link up some of our characters too. So we'll come here, Hero and Baymax. And then I know I've got Judy Hopps. Perfect. And then we'll have these go, select our back arrow.
Yeah, and you could select the whole screen, sure. That's also a new feature. I don't know if you noticed. As he dives into these, he has these really long screens. And down at the bottom, it says jump to scroll position down there at the bottom. So that's a new feature as of Tuesday. Yeah, Holly Henry, try one of next week's challenges. Next week is a graphic design. So feel free to join us here. We have Elena, Chantel. We got some fantastic graphic designers. But you can also join the German stream, because that's going to be a UX stream, and you can actually enter there.
Nice.
You don't need to speak German, but it probably helps.
A little helpful.
You're like, did I win? I think I won, but I don't know German. But Holly Henry, that's good to hear. That's what we live for. Just want you to enjoy the experience and just try new things. Have fun, and maybe someday we'll pay you. Somebody will pay you to have fun. Is the idea.
All right.
Thank you, Hisham and Lindsay. Got your entries in, so we'll review those. I think Lindsay's won previously as well. I understand 9. Yes, that's like just before 10. Dad joke. So bad.
That was pretty bad.
That was so bad. Probably think less of me.
Here. All right, so just linking all of these up so our navigation works across the board. One more. We've got that one going to the right spot. Okay.
What does kappa mean?
Kappa. That's a great question.
Claudia Joe says, too much XD for me today. Kappa. What's a Twitch meme? Is it?
All right, and then...
Well, oh, I see. I think I just Googled it and saw it, so. It's a Twitch thing. Oh, good. David Lehman, thank you so much. Also got an entry in as well, so that's cool.
Awesome. All right.
Oh, yes.
Is there a way to see all the links that we have?
Yes, you could just do it typically select all, just Command A.
Oh, there we go.
And this is
love
where
this beauty.
Yeah, so it gets really interesting.
All right.
Hey, Lindsay, there are no wrong questions. You ask away, please. That's why we're here. Seriously, Twitch is another streaming platform, so you can go to Twitch TV and check out. It's kind of more of a, I don't know, at least based in sort of a gaming, streaming games. But there's also a creative channel, and that's why we have people here from Twitch. So if you're into gaming, Twitch is for you, or if you like that sort of thing. But you guys got it. Why am I answering this question? So you guys know what's up.
All right, I think we're doing pretty good here. So let's check this out now.
And you have to try to like post it to the chat if we could.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's see. How do we get the preview now of this?
Yeah, you just want to view it?
Yeah.
Like you could view it on just your page, just click the play right next to it.
Oh.
You got it. Yeah, there you go. Perfect.
All right, awesome. So let's see how this works now. So we'll come in here and we can log in. How many guests are you bringing to your visit? We would scroll this up and down in order to see that. We've got our skip grayed out because we don't want that to be the primary CTA.
Full screen.
Oh, yeah.
want to see it in all its glory.
All right. So we continue. We can upload a photo, enter the person's name. So I've got my daughter in here. Continue. And now I want to select some of her favorites. So when I go to the park, I want to know, it's kind of like an easy way for me to have like a checklist or an agenda of she really likes these characters or rides. Let's make sure that we go see those. So I've searched for Monsters, Inc. That's given me the results of a ride, a character, a couple characters, and I want to select some of these. So I'll tap on these ones here. The ride and Mike are her favorites, and I can click continue. And now we'll say you do that for a couple of your or for your party, so you've got everybody in there. Yeah. And now we jump in here into our map view, where we can scroll through at the top here between like shows and rides and restaurants and things like that. And if I click on one of these, ideally there'd be one more screen here where it just expands to give us a little bit more information. I have it in the wire of making sure we know what character that we are selecting. And now we jump in here and we get to see, okay, we've got Mike and Sully, and I can scroll through this and, you know, I can book my fast pass. I see that the wait time for this ride right now is 45 minutes. I can catch the characters in these locations in the park between these times. If I really want to get my child a plush toy or a shirt or something like that, these are the stores that carry merchandise related to this particular Disney franchise. And then I get a little bit of information about those characters as well. And then we can come up here and I can also favorite this if I hadn't already. And that just fills in this icon so we know what that interaction looks like.
We don't have it hooked up on that screen.
Gotcha, yeah. So
but this one should.
Here,
Sweet.
Okay. And now I can come into my favorites. And here I can see the different rides that we've selected, and I can see my daughter Thea and Raina really love Monsters, Inc., or that particular ride. My wife and I also really enjoy Toy Story Midway Mania. My kids aren't big enough yet for Radiator Springs Racers, but my wife and I really like that. It's probably the ride I'm most excited to go on for the first time. When I go, it looks super cool. And then I also wanted to show, and this should have been a line center, but wanted to show what it looks like here if I hadn't specified who liked a ride, but I had just added that, we like it. And so that's another thing. If I had clicked that heart before, there should have been a screen that says, would you like to mention who in particular likes it from your party? And I could just like tap their avatars and go through that. So maybe if we have extra time, we can do something like that. But I can click here into Mike and Sully to the rescue, and I can see information about this ride. I didn't swap out some of the data here, but you guys kind of get the point here. And we've got our videos, and I'll go back. I can check out our Radiator Springs Racers. And
I missed so much of... I don't remember any of this when I went last year.
We've been in full plan mode. I think we've covered a lot of this stuff. And I can toggle here between our characters.
Tell us if you like this, everyone. We're kind of moving through this. If there's any issues, or if this has a good flow, if it makes sense. Seems to make sense to me.
Yeah. And so we've got our characters and like pro tips here. So we also mentioned we want this to be more informational, but something like this is a great photo opportunity. Baymax is gigantic and it makes your kids look super tiny. So it's a really fun thing here.
Oh, I love it. I love the pro tips.
So I'll go back, and then we've got Judy Hopps, my daughter. I've watched Zootopia at least 300 times.
Oh, is it pretty good?
It's really good, and it's actually, as a parent, it's one of those movies that you're okay rewatching 100 times, unlike Frozen.
It doesn't have to, like, have a problem downloading.
Yeah.
Or whatever.
Yeah, it's a really good movie. Frozen and Moana and Judy Hopps have been good ones.
Okay.
And then we've got shows here too, which my wife and I are prepared to re-enter a little bit of Frozen and go through this. So We might remove this from favorites. I think I didn't even do that intentionally. That might have been subconscious that Frozen was getting removed from our favorites list.
That's hilarious.
But we would swipe here and remove that screen. And yeah, so I think that covers the screens that we did there. And then this is going to be our kind of, app guide or pro tips that we want to showcase. So that little pro tip section at the bottom, we might be able to incorporate those kind of information here.
Yeah, that's good. Like, again, tired of watching Frozen with your daughter?
Yeah.
You can just pretend like it's broken. I'm just joking. What to do if your daughter just wants to ride the Frozen ride all day long? And you're like, I did all this work on this app, and there's all these other... I don't know.
You don't go to that ride until the very end of your trip, so they
day.
don't know
Tip.
it exists.
Pro tip.
And then something subtle here, in case I didn't talk about this before. So in my primary navigation here at the bottom, I've got the 3 icons that are not currently selected at the light gray that I'm using in my palette. And that's just so that way I don't need like a status indicator or something like that to have an additional element. That color signifies the one that's active. And then I would definitely later on incorporate some imagery or different iconography based on the kind of tip that we have here. But for the moment, we've just got kind of a list of tips. So we can check out our Disney Artist Gallery. And this would probably first bring us to a list of artists where we might be able to see kind of who the local or current residents are. And that would give us some more information. And so here we get to see a profile of one of those artists. So we've got Raji King. The gallery is located in downtown Disney. He's signing his art between these times. And then it just gives them a little bit of information to check out these pieces. And maybe we could even dive into this further and have like how much those pieces may cost or what kind of items are available with that and things of that nature. So I think that has covered most of what we have prototyped, and then we maybe we do some contests in a little bit, and
we're ready to review these.
Yeah, let's do it.
But that was fantastic.
It's really easy. We prototyped that in what, 10 minutes, maybe 5.
Yeah, you did. I mean, but like, man, thinking through, you've been working hard, is what I'd like to say. You've been busting your butt.
Thank you.
I like it. Let's hide that. All right, so let's dive into some of these entries. Thank you, everyone, for entering in this the challenge. And again, it's just your chance to check out XD. I might not know the names if you didn't include it in the title of the app, but let's dive into this navigation guide. We wanted to give you a couple more minutes to get yours in, but we have to call it now. Let's dive into this one, this navigation app. Okay, so by the way, really fast, just so we're familiar and clear, this is the template. This is what the template looks like, by the way, just so we know what's changed and what hasn't. So that's just again, going on back over here. What's your location now? There's icons. What do you like to search on? Parking. Okay, there we go. Parking in these different areas. Let's click. I don't know what this is, but I will click on it. And I clicked on the car icon, and maybe these are the 2 parking lots down this direction. So let me just make sure. Okay, here we go. 2 minutes away for this one. This is your photo view, I guess, which is an overlay of where you're supposed to go, which is nice. It's a dotted line. You gotta go through, and let's just click through all these screens. Good job. Good work. 7 screens. Finding places to park. Here's park perks. Click anywhere to specify where you've explored. This is where we've explored. You've unlocked North Meadow.
Cool.
Ooh, clicked below to see the prize. You've earned 2 free snow cones from North Meadow's own Paul Snow Cones.
Nice. So you can redeem these at the vendor or something.
Yeah, that's cool. And this is like your profile for everything. I can probably click back. Very cool. Let's click through these screens. Yeah, park perks. So explore areas, win, unlock prizes. Super fun. Welcome, baller. Best way to play pickup basketball in the city. Let's do this.
I could see people using something like that.
Yeah. Let's go dive into your stats or profile. This is a nice dashboard view. Pretty clean right there. Let's take a look. Looks like Steph Curry's in the neighborhood. We could maybe challenge him. Challenge accepted. Map to that route. That's super fun. I like that one.
Yeah.
That's nice. The Hyperloop.
I could use that.
Hyperloop portal. Let's start out.
I really like the colors on this. That's cool.
Yeah, that's good. Let's go back. So here's the different loops. Find your Hyperloop route.
Nice.
It gives you the different stations. Click go. Yeah, that's... Yeah, and you like the colors. Cool. Let's go into Pedicab, San Francisco. Where do we want to go? 4 Point Beer Company. It's right there along the coast. Let's go back. Market Street. Kind of gives you the details. Cool. Yeah, perfect. 3 screens. I like how it's only 3 screens, but it actually felt like more.
Yeah.
Forest. Adventure Buddy. The best way to find new friends, discover new places, enter in our phone number.
Nice.
Let's start meeting people. Hit the road with a few buddies like Grace Flowers. Looks like we can chat. Say, hey, we had fun today. And then you can actually plan out the route for going to the park. So social aspect to this map navigation app. So that's cool.
We're in the future. We don't need logins.
I know, right?
I just like picture his voice as he says that from Back to the Future as Christopher Lloyd.
So yeah, those are all of the designs. I think I've covered them all. Some of them I'll have to just check and see which ones are qualified to win. But do you have... It seems like you liked the colors of this one.
Yep.
Just, yeah, talk to me, my friend.
I like this one. Yeah, the colors are very vibrant. Like, I think of Hyperloop and a lot of stuff Tesla does, and it's very futuristic, and so I like the use of the gradients here. I might soften up that button, the Start Now button, just a little bit, but the colors feel very futuristic, and like the things that Tesla is doing, I just think it's kind of cool and exciting, and it makes the user look forward to that. I don't know if this was intentional or not, but I really like the masking shape used for the image, just because it kind of looks like a bullet train, and so it's like very subliminal. But if you did it by accident, awesome. If you did it intentional, even better, because that takes a lot of good forethought. And yeah, I think the information that it gave was really good through the whole thing.
Yeah, that's good. And again, like the colors totally work. It's easy on your eyes and everything. I was just pulling out a couple of these, so we do kind of need to get some of these narrowed down. I'm trying to like have them highlight, highlight the best ones. And just to reiterate the ones that we saw earlier, there is this one, which was like a store, like locator management tool, essentially, is what this one is. And then there was the colorful navigation, and then this one here.
Yeah.
The shed. All right, let's kind of get these.
Did we see that and then somebody randomly had the baby?
Huh?
Did we see this one that had the zombie baby and
someone
was like, we have one of those in the office. Let's go have it.
Oh.
Yeah. Scary.
I love it.
All right, cool. Do we know which ones are eligible before I pick anybody?
You could just, yeah, let's just
good?
go with it and we'll like figure it out.
All right, cool. Let's close the one on the left.
That's one.
Yeah. And then which one is that? Oh, that was Adventure Buddy. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna try to do a really quick scan of them, and before I pick the winner, I want to say a couple of things that I think could be improved on each of them that might have bumped any of the others to maybe winning it. So I'll start here on the left. One of the things that I see on this, like I feel like a couple of these screens, like this is absolutely gorgeous, really good choice of imagery. But one thing that I would modify in this one is the color palette is just a little bit inconsistent. So we've got like this green and gold, we've got different type here, and then we jump in here and now we've got like blue tones, and you know, it just doesn't feel as put together. So when you're using that UI kit, either go all out and, you know, stay within that color wheel, or, you know, modify things so it feels a little bit closer. So we'll close that one.
Okay.
This guy here, I really like the idea behind this one, but it's kind of an odd thing. Like, you don't typically think of mobile apps having like a left side navigation, and it's largely because of the screen real estate that you lose from it. So like when we started clicking into, if we go back a screen, like this just all feels really crowded and cramped. And obviously you can't have like the time and stuff like that here on the left-hand side. That would probably be hidden within the notch. So I think the design things that you added to this were really great. I love the colors and like the tonalities that you did. Like there's like 4 gradients at the bottom and stuff there. But I would just think through the menu interactions.
And let us know if this is your first time working on one of these as well. By the way, Sior, I don't know how to say his name. Sior's.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, thanks so much for working. This is a compressed schedule, by the way, so
Totally.
I just really appreciate. You've had
Like,
3 days.
I
Honestly,
totally
you've had 3
get it.
days, and these people have like an hour and a half,
Yeah.
like 90 minutes, or I don't know, maybe most of the
Totally.
day. But
I just want to try to give you guys a little bit of like helpful info rather than just start
and you're doing a
axing
great
people.
job.
And
because I didn't notice that he shifted the time over, and yeah, that's definitely
because it's usually like little things that can turn a design going from like okay to really awesome. So yeah, so this one here, same kind of thing on this. I would say like the colors are just more inconsistent. We've got like really vibrant, but then we've got like this really harsh shadow, and it looks like the shadows are different colors. There's like a red underneath there. But I think the execution of like how this app is functioning is really cool. So we'll close that guy. This one here, I really like. The one thing I would say on this is just time crunch. So not holding this against you, but like swap out the information so it's less repetitive, and just make sure that like your icons and stuff are centered up here. But I really like the rest of this app. Feels super smooth. You know, I'd maybe make this a little bit taller down here because these icons are getting a little dangerously close to the home indicator, but this is really clean. I just feel like I get to tap on something, I see some of these photos, different things that are available. Like this is really, really cool. This screen is like absolutely gorgeous. And this is really cool. So yeah. I'll keep that one open.
sorry, I made everything like kind of complex. Let's just minimize that.
Cool.
These are the I guess we're down to 3.
Yeah. So we've got the shed. We won't hold the creepy baby against you. I think this one's really good. It's welcome screen looks really good. We jump in here. The locations.
I really liked that angle, the very first screen.
Yeah, it just
like that's kind of
eye.
cool. I almost wanted to see that in here somewhere. Like, what if this was more of it? Like in terms of like continuing the design. Maybe, maybe not. Great use of the color palette with the photo, I feel. Like how that just kind of melts together. I think they did a good.
Yeah. And something I'm seeing, because somebody mentioned before, like the really rounded corners, we're seeing that in all of these UI kits here that you guys had created. And I think a lot of that is coming. It's going to be a bigger design trend because of what the Apple Watch looks like, what the iPhone X looks like, the Android devices are going through that as well. think we're going to
Chris,
see more.
is this yours, by the way? Because he just said refresh. I refreshed it. We're up to like 16 screens
15
now.
more screens in there.
Of course, zombie babies. Card number, tickets confirmed. I guess we're gonna go see. I love it.
Yeah, I've done that before on projects. It's really cool when you can do that and kind of have like the cards come in from the side.
Do you like this bunny? Ah!
Yeah, this is really solid.
Where'd this come from?
All right, and then we've got our Hyperloop here. I think this is another really good one. Yeah, this is really solid. All right, so I think the one that I'm going to go with is I like the Restaurant Finder. I just think overall like a really good implementation and customization of the UI kit. But I think all three of these did a really nice job putting this together.
They did a great job. So, the Restaurant Finder. That's the one. Congratulations. We will double check your name, but if you created what is called colorful navigation, does that qualify? I guess we'll see.
Yeah, it was Martin that did it.
Okay, Martin.
Martin Dorado, but I don't know if he's in chat.
Martin might not be here. Martin, you better come claim your prize, my friend. But this was another thing to point out is this was actually submitted within the first 45 minutes. And maybe he was working on it all day.
Then that's really really impressive.
You know, so super cool.
Yeah.
But a big shout out to like all of them.
Yeah.
I think I've even learned from you commenting on these that really has been helpful. You know, we could literally spend a day, and we should do that sometime where we just do
Like a critique.
we just do critiques and reviews.
Well, and that's where the reason I wanted to do that is because again, it's little things. Like I could have more feedback on each of these, but like I think on this one, part of it was the use of the photography that they selected was just really, really good throughout all of it. And so like, I had sushi last night, and I want it again now because it's all appetizing.
Did you pick this one because you're hungry?
Yeah.
But I agree.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, like you have to think, sure, not all the photos are going to be great, but you can know that if you're dealing with a food app, the color is going to be mostly those warm tones.
Yep.
And then have it match accordingly.
Yeah, and that's where you get into like the color theory and psychology, and like the warmer tones make you hungrier, cooler tones are going to make you thirsty. So if it was for a bar, maybe like if it was a drinking app, then maybe we'd be using more blue tones or something. So yeah.
Yeah, Lindsay, I agree. Yeah, she's just saying it's super helpful, your feedback.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Corbin Bell, to answer your question, you don't have to use the UI kit. I mean, the worst thing you could do is just take the UI kit and not change it.
Right.
But believe me, it would actually stand out from the pack if it is something totally unique. But we're using that to help you, kind of give you a head start, essentially. So that's the plan.
Someone was asking about the font. I'm using Proxima Nova from Adobe Typekit, and that's one of my favorite fonts. It just kind of works for everything.
Nice. That is good. Yeah, good stuff. Thank you so much, Peter.
Thank you guys for tuning in.
Peter Deltondo, and a big thank you to everyone in chat, everybody viewing. It's fantastic. This is really the last day, the end of day 3. So this is where we get all choked up. But the thing is yeah.
It's been a super fun time.
I don't know what we're going to do. We're going to go through withdrawals. Good thing that these are actually all recorded and available on demand. So you can go to YouTube, Creative Cloud channel, make sure you hit subscribe, and you can just basically watch those as you go through withdrawals. Go through Peter withdrawals. Is that a thing? That sounds weird.
I hope so. I want to come back. This was cool.
Yeah, well, we liked having you. I think everybody agrees. So give them a warm thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Yes, and again, we're here for you, open to your ideas. You can also click on the schedule tab. Next week it's going to have graphic design, UX, UI design, and German, as well as plenty of other topics moving forward. So thank you so much, Peter. Yay, Peter.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. How much time do we have? Is that it? Oh, we're wrapping it up. We're wrapping it up. So thanks, everybody. Appreciate you.